This podcast was brought to you by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Triple G Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is Hosted Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also become a member of this podcast on YouTube to get extra video and audio. Well, I guess it's video content per month. This month's podcast that's going to be just for members is the Tears of the Kingdom spoiler podcast. We're going to dive deep into Tears of the Kingdom. Try to get some guests on if we can. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, but we're going to try our best to get some live guests or get some guests into our podcast, but we'll see about that. But for now, Drip, how are you doing this week, good sir? I know you just came off of a beautiful vacation.
Dude, let me tell you something. Seriously, best vacation ever, man. Best vacation ever. It was such a great time. It was good. We'll talk about that. How's your week been? Not quite as good.
I'll get to my week in a minute. I do want to say this before I did forget to say this. Tonight's podcast is going to be about as follows: Red Dead. We talked about it last week, but this week Red Dead has some more news. We actually get to see some actual game footage. I know our buddy Switch Corner, who is in the chat, at least was in the chat. I know that he put up a video on his opinions. He got the game early. Congrats for that.
I watched it.
But yeah, I watched it too. And and Nintendo Life is another outlet who got the game. And
also
we saw some gameplay, and you know what? We'll talk about it in a minute. Also, the other topic, the other meat of the episode, Drip. We're talking about Tears of the Kingdom tonight, and whether or not it has a good chance or not of becoming Game of the Year. Which, you know, maybe earlier in the past last couple months, maybe we'd say absolutely. But I think there's reason to question that maybe it's not going to be a Game of the Year. But we will get to that in just a minute. And now I will ask Drip, how you doing? And you said your piece.
Listen, vacation was amazing. It was crazy. I got some very interesting stories, but all around the vacation was great. It was me, my 3 daughters. We went to Myrtle Beach. We stayed down there for 5 nights. It was fantastic. It was great. You know, we swam. We went to amusement parks. We went to a show thing. If anybody's been down there, it's this thing called what is it called? Pirates Voyage. It's like a dinner show thing, but they like do diving and like all kinds of crazy stuff. It was really fun. It was great, man. It was absolutely fantastic. I was, a little worried with me going with just them alone that it was going to be kind of stressful. Man, they were so well behaved. They made it.
2 of your daughters are under 10 years old, right? And then your third daughter is
7, 4, and then she's 12. So yeah, she's fine. Actually, she's mostly fine. 12.
She's 12. We don't need to go into that.
Other things, yeah.
Whether you have a kid that's 12 or you remember what it was like when you were 12.
Yeah,
it's
that. So it was great. A few interesting stories. One, I saw a shark.
Dude.
An actual shark. And not only did I see the shark, it was probably maybe 10 yards from me, and I'm in the ocean with 3 children. Ocean with 3 children. Okay, so let me...
let's just recap for a second. You saw a shark probably about 10 to 20 yards from where you were swimming.
Yeah.
And you told me a story already, but the people need to hear this story.
Okay, so we're out in the ocean, right? We're just hanging out, having a good time. My 2 youngest, again, it's just me. So I'm like, I got 3 of y'all, you 2 little ones, you're wearing life vests because I'm not trying to chase y'all over, take it by waves, safety first, whatever. So we're out there, and I notice out, not far, there's a bunch of, you know how they do. Seagulls will dive into the water, and they'll go after fish, whatever. I noticed a bunch in one area, and I'm watching them dive because there must have been a bunch of fish right there. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at one dive into the water, and all of a sudden, a shark jumps completely out of the water. I saw this thing's whole body, all of it, nose to tail, the entire fucking thing out of the water, and it's like dipped back over, jumping in. I'm like, oh shit! I grabbed one. I'm like, get out of the water! There's a shark, and everyone's like, yeah, right, Dad. Yeah, I'm like, go to the water. We gotta go right now. And I got my youngest one under my arm. The other one I'm dragging out of the water. My oldest is already up on the beach. My youngest one's like, shark, shark. No one's paying attention.
Your
No
oldest
one
didn't
cared.
help you with the young kids?
No, she was out of there, dude. She was
Oh,
gone.
my God.
No, it's fine. Go. I was like, save yourself. Go. I got these. Let's go. Everybody go. Everybody go. So I did look it up. This thing, it was probably about 2 to 3 feet long. It wasn't like a giant great white shark, but I mean, you know, it was a shark.
It was
Clearly
a
shark. And I looked it up later to see what kind of things were down there. Because, I mean, obviously I got a good look at it. It was a black nose shark. They get about 5 to 6 feet. This one, like I said, 2 to 3
It's
feet.
a young one.
Yeah. You know, we went back up to the pool, and then like 10 minutes later, you hear all the lifeguards blowing the whistles. Like, okay, we see a shark. Everybody get out of the water.
Come on, man. That's kind of crazy to me because I know my couple of shark experiences out in the Delaware, Maryland beach area. I do know that like once they even smell a fin, that's not a dolphin fin, like whistles are blown. So it's kind of crazy to me that a shark jumped out the water.
Dude,
and
I'm telling
it took
you,
them 10 minutes to
looked
blow
right at
the
it,
whistle.
and I'm like, oh my God. Because I was like, first, you know, my head's going fast. I'm like, fish? Not a fish. Holy shit, not a fish.
Right.
Not a fish. It had one in its fucking mouth, dude.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was scary. Other than that, great trip. Wonderful trip. Fantastic.
That's awesome. I'm glad you had a good time.
That was terrifying, but
That's awesome, dude. I'm really glad you're back and refreshed.
I'm so refreshed, man. I'm ready to go. So
awesome,
ready to
man.
go. Can't wait.
So for me, my last week has been interesting. I've been having some stuff going on in the back end personally. Nothing bad. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's good. Nothing like that. I'm in good spirits here. It's just there's some personal stuff I won't get into, but I will tell you this little nugget about stuff what's going on. My car has been like a saga. I think some of you guys who've been hanging out on Discord maybe know a little bit here and there about it. But basically, I finally decided to really get my car, situated. It really needs to be dealt with. So it's a long story. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I'll just tell this part. It needed to be towed to the mechanic, and it was towed. Mechanic fixed it. I drove it off the mechanic's lot, and there's a check engine light immediately after driving off the lot. So I'm like, this is fantastic.
Dude, that's literally like the worst thing.
Like
that
my gut just went through my feet. Like it just was like,
I know that feeling.
Be kidding
I've had that happen to me too. I know that feeling. That's an awful feeling.
The bill was a large one, and it was just like, are you kidding? Like this.
Well, and the
like,
roller coaster too.
Yeah.
Because you're so excited because you're like, I got my car back. Yes, I got my car back, and then you're like,
yep.
No.
So
no, I don't.
I drive the thing.
Something's
I drive the thing.
wrong.
Yeah, I drive the thing back into the lot, and it's unrelated to the stuff they fixed previously, so it's it's going to be an extra cost. But as he is explaining to me what's going on with it, I look at my bumper drip. I should have had a picture ready for stream. It's a doozy of a picture. I'll show it to everybody.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So he's explained to me what's going on. He's explained to me it's happening on the front bumper, like the issue. It's behind it. And I'm looking down at my car, and can you guys see that? The brightness is too high. I'm sorry, audio people. I do apologize. I'll post this in Discord for you guys. But here's my bumper, guys. That's my bumper.
Yeah, dude.
It's for audio people.
That ain't good.
Sorry, my eyes get growing nuts right now. For audio people, I will tell you what it kind of explain what's going on. The bumper, it has a big old tear in it. It's not just like a crack. It's not a crack. It's a legit full-on tear. And again, long story short with it, that was caused by the towing company. And there's also that check engine light is likely caused by them as well. And I'm not angry. Stuff happens. It's just like you got to be joking me kind of situation here. Like I just got this thing back, and now
you see, that would have pissed me off so bad.
Oh, it does.
I would have been irate.
Listen, I haven't had it for so long. It's just more time. But it's gonna, if it interferes with my future employment status, that's what's gonna drive me insane here. Like if I can't get the position I'm looking for because of this view, because it's drivable. The car's drivable. There's nothing wrong with it in terms of that. But I can't drive it yet because I need to re-register it. But to re-register it, I have to pass a emissions test in Illinois. But I can't pass it because I have a check engine light. So So I can't legally drive the car.
It's a slippery slope. It's a vicious cycle.
Yes,
I
indeed.
hate that for you. I do hate that for you. I'm sorry that's going on, but you know what?
Yeah, but
This
it's not all. It's not all.
pass.
It's not all negative because the bright side here is that I have a functional car.
It runs. That's
it
great.
Runs.
And how long has it been since it's ran?
Let's
Long
keep that
time.
private.
Long time.
Longer than I.
That guy's been on the bench for a minute.
Yeah. It's my own neglect. I know the car people out there are smacking their palms on their heads. I know. Listen, my brother's a mechanic too. Okay, it's my own fault. It's my own fault. But here's the good news: I cleaned my car. I got all of that dirt and grime for sitting for so long. It was disgusting. I should have brought the bucket over. I have a bucket of the rags that I use to clean the car with. They went from bright white to just mucky dark black. They're disgusting. Over under what?
On how long the car's been on the bench.
Over under 4 months. Let's see. Go over in the chat. Over under 4 months. Let's see who gets closest. Well, I guess the over under. No, but yeah. So it's been a long enough time to where there's been muck. Like there was actually moss growing next to the front passenger wheel, which I thought was funny.
Oh, that's nice.
Not on the wheel. Not on the wheel. On the ground, to be clear. But yeah, no. Either way, it was time, and I've got it all situated up, but I'm still dealing with it. Now I'm talking to insurance companies because I got my tow through the insurance company, so it's not. Yeah. I'm not liable for this stuff. At least I shouldn't be. So, anyway, it's long enough talking about all that garbage.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Drip, my beer this week. I'll just get it out of the way. No, wait, I have a special beer of the week, and you do too. We both have special beers of the week this week.
Yeah,
you go.
It's time for the beer of the week.
It is time for the beer of the week. So I heard the music.
You're gonna have to go first because mine's away. So you go first.
I almost just spilled my other beer. So yeah, I actually just finished my first Bush Peach, but here's my second Bush Peach right here. But that's not my beer of the week this week, guys. My beer is
really jealous of that, by the way, because now it's gone. I just can't find it anywhere. This right here, the one I've been drinking for the pre-show and the beginning. This is it. This is it.
Can you turn the music down a little bit? I think it might be a little loud. But this week, guys, my beer is not a beer. My beer this week is a snack. And Mrs. Geeb just brought these over from the gas station.
Ooh, what are those?
So they're not just Takis. These are Dragon Sweet Chili Takis.
Have you had them before?
Never.
Okay, so I'm guessing that those ones probably aren't going to be like super crazy, like spicy. That's my guess. I could be wrong.
I don't want it to be spicy because I'm on the podcast right now, and I don't want to deal with something that is extra spicy. So
I don't think they're gonna be.
I'm gonna eat one and hope that I only want one, and I don't want to keep eating this rest of the show because they're crunchy.
You're probably gonna want to eat all of them. They're probably gonna be great.
Okay. Oh my god.
Are they awesome? They're not hot, are they? They're not hot.
Only complaint: I wish they were a little bit more sweet. But
a little bit more sweet?
Yeah. Guys, these taste almost exactly like those Doritos, but just with extra spice. The sweet chili Doritos.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We used all of our beer of the week music.
That's okay. But yeah, sweet chili Takis are a go. What's your beer this week, Drip?
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, I'm going to have to try those. Those are great. Okay, now I feel like I have to apologize for mine because I just came from the beach and very tropical feeling down there. I literally drank Bud Light Lime. When I did drink anything, like in the evenings, once everyone was asleep, I'd sit out on the balcony, have a couple Bud Light Limes, looking at the beach. I'm back here in Morgantown. You know how that goes. School, the students are moving back. You know what that means. Fall's on the way. And I saw this and I had to get it. The Sam Adams Jacko Pumpkin Ale.
Pumpkin Ale? Get out of here, man.
Went for it already.
Dude, I'm not ready.
Super early. And I apologize because I know I'm going to get shit for it. But listen, do you remember whenever I used to do every week we would do a pumpkin beer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then I would pick the winner at the end of the month or whatever, the end of October or whatever. This is one that actually won like 2 years of that, I think.
Very good.
So it is great. It's one of the best pumpkin beers out there. Blue Moon, I think, has the best, but this is one.
Yeah. we need to get you access to our X account, Twitter X account, so you can post this stuff but yourself. But yeah, so guys, if you want to submit your beers of the week, go to our Twitter X account at DripG and submit your photo of your beer of the week with a slight description if you feel so inclined. And obviously, it goes beyond just beer. If you want to give something that's non-alcoholic or even a snack that you just really enjoy that's not widely available, feel free to do that over at DripGeeb on Twitter X.
For sure.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. And we're gonna start this podcast off with kind of going backwards a little bit here. We're going to bring it back to last week, Drip, when we talked about Red Dead as our main topic of that episode. And Red Dead, guys, has gotten some serious footage out. It's real gameplay footage from a bunch of outlets, including our buddy Switch Corner. And check that video. Go do that. Nintendo Life as well put there's gameplay footage out.
They put a bunch of gameplay footage.
Yeah, running on the Switch. And I gotta say, Drip, I'll just go ahead and say, last week I don't believe I was negative on it. I said I'll wait till the gameplay comes out to be negative, as a joke, obviously. But like I said, if it was gonna be bad, I was gonna give a crap. And guess what? It's good. It looks really good performance-wise. It's a locked 30 on the Switch, and I got to say, absolutely no complaints here as far as how the game runs. This is not the Grand Theft Auto situation.
No, it's not. It looks, honestly, I said this too. I was like, we've seen some of it, but like that's them showing us. This looks good. Like it looks great. Like, honestly,
it does.
Like it's got the day and night cycle. And I saw a bunch of scenes where like it's kind of sunset or sunrise and you can just see the sun and the way the lighting, it's just, it looks really good. And it seems to be locked 30, no problems whatsoever.
I think you can make the argument that it looks as good or better. If not, probably more likely that it looks better than that ran on the 360 itself. So
yeah, it does. Honestly, dude, I watched a Digital Foundry video, and I think they were actually comparing. It may have been the PS4 version to the current version that's on Xbox.
Okay.
And that's 4K, and the one that's on PlayStation 4, I don't think it's 4K. It's just 1080p, but they've done some. There's no jagged. It looks good. It does look very good. Yeah. The people who ported this thing, whether you're talking about the PlayStation 4 version or the Switch version, it looks fantastic. Everything looks great.
I really have nothing else to say. I mean, I'm going to get the game when I can. But
me too. And let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because you said this last week, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. You said you were going to buy it. You're going to wait for a sale. You still feel that way?
I still feel that way, and that's not like a negative thing. I still feel that way, mainly because my funds are low these days, just being honest with you. But in terms of like, if I could afford it, would I buy it at 50? Yes. But I'll just say this, unless I was doing really well, I still think it's a little bit overpriced. I mean, you can really, if you buy, if I had an Xbox, which I don't, but if I had an Xbox, $30 for a brand new sealed copy for the 360, pop it in your Series X, and suddenly you're playing a modern game. You're playing the same game for $30, and it's on a modern platform.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's not worth $50 because a lot of people are saying that, and I honestly feel that I kind of feel this way about video games in general. I kind of run toward the side of, most people are like, oh, that game's old, so it has to be cheap now. I think that we have like a culture in our society where, like, even let's just talk about music, I think it kind of runs a parallel. Like, people think like a song is old after 6 months. It's like, oh, that's old. Why you listen to that? Or like a game.
I mean, this game is over a decade old.
Yeah, but again, it's 10 years old. So like, don't play that. Or if you're gonna play it, you better only pay $5 for it. And I get it. Rockstar's not a company that needs your sympathy, wallet sympathy. Like, listen, they don't need your money. They could charge $10 and still make money off this game. But I will say this: I'm not in camp bash the price. I'm not in that camp. I think the price is justified. It's a matter of will you pay for it. And if you're just simply complaining because it's too expensive with no real reason why, then that's kind of on you, in my opinion. Like, they can charge whatever price they want. Just don't buy it. And guess what, guys? That's exactly what I'm doing. They're charging $50, and I'm saying as a consumer, I'm not going to buy it yet. Not because I don't think the game looks really good, and not that I think they did a bad job. I'm just not buying it yet. I'm speaking with my wallet. If it goes on sale, I'm going to buy it then. Don't sit here and complain about the $50 price, okay? They can charge whatever they want, and it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. So as soon as I can, I'm buying it at $50. I'm gonna do it. It's completely against what I said last week. I have done a complete 180. I want this game on the Switch badly. You realize it's running 1080p docked and 720 handheld? Like, it's actually running those?
Yeah, honestly, dude, I want to. The only thing what's coming up in my head is BioShock for the Switch. So those games were 360 era games, and those run very well. They're very.
I wonder who
they are 30
those.
solid.
Do we know who ported those? I wonder who ported those.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But I can tell you this: I've flip flopped completely on this. Once I saw it running, and what it actually looks like on the Switch, I'm gonna get it as soon as I can. As soon as I can get it, after the whole vacation. That ain't happening right now.
Yeah.
we aren't even in that ballpark right now. But we're gonna get some stuff done, get some payments coming in here, and $50 that's going towards Red Dead, dude. I'm gonna be playing Red Dead on the Switch because it looks great, and I want it handheld.
Yeah.
I don't like that it's $50. I'm gonna say this right now. I should probably not buy it for $50 because I think it's too much. But I'm a sucker. And I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it as soon as I can. Hopefully, I just can't buy it until maybe it ends up being on sale, and it's like, oh well, that works out too.
Yeah.
But
I'm
sure
clear.
that's probably not gonna be the case.
I would pay $50 for it. But it's just a thing of like, it's a matter of like being able to afford it, and a combination of that, and a combination of. I don't feel that strongly about it. You guys who have played it before, I listen. I know the game's great. I'm actually being sold on it every time I watch people's reviews, Switch Corner, Nintendo Life. I'm seeing what I've been missing out on all these years, and I do want to get into the series, and this is going to be a great way to jump in. However,
you'd be fine with Red Dead too. You'd be fine with it. Because I don't know if you know this.
But it's on Switch, and I don't want to play it on PC.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
My gaming happens on my Switch.
Because
very rarely do I
2,
boot a game up on my PC.
Believe it or not, is actually Red Dead 1. It's a prequel to what happened before the original Red Dead Redemption. So you'd be fine starting with either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. You're saying.
I mean, I could buy Red Dead probably for cheaper when it goes on sale on Steam, which it will go on more sale more often and for cheaper
Red Dead
on
2?
Steam. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I could
do
that
it on
first.
Steam for my
and
Steam Deck.
honestly, dude, maybe I
think
would
I paid
that.
like Red Dead 2. I think I paid. I want to say $15-$20 maybe, something like that on Steam.
Yeah, it goes on sale all the
Deck.
time for $15-$20, sometimes 30, and it lives at 60 for the most part. But
yeah.
No, I mean, this is not a negative thing. The game looks great. I think they did a good job. I think Rockstar kind of redeemed themselves a little bit from that GTA thing. However, as long as GTA is still on the Switch for that price and that terrible performance, I still think that Rockstar needs to be held accountable for what they've done. This doesn't fix their this doesn't wipe away their accountability here. They still need to kind of answer for what they've done by doing a permanent price cut immediately. But yeah, they've done a great job here with Red Dead Original. I think so too. Looks really great.
I think so too. It looks great. I want it.
Drip, this podcast is not sponsored by Bush Peach. It's not sponsored by Takis, which I would love if it would be, because man, that'd be awesome. It's not sponsored by the sponsor of this podcast. That's going to be a sponsor soon. Not that I was just leaving.
It's not
a little cliffhanger. It's not sponsored by anybody. It's sponsored by our YouTube members, Drip. If you guys have not become a member of this podcast at this point, please consider it. this podcast is brought to you by the members, and the members are going to get special access to an exclusive episode every month on this very YouTube channel. So this month's exclusive episode will be the Tears of the Kingdom spoiler episode. If you want to hear or watch these podcasts with all of our opinions regarding the Tears of the Kingdom spoiler stuff, you got to become a member to do that. It's the only way you're going to be able to watch it. So make sure to become a YouTube member. The link is down below. Become a member. $5 a month for one episode. When we're doing that next week at some point, whenever we can figure it out. The good thing for members is it'll be a live stream, but the members, if you can't make it, it's okay. It'll be there for you guys to enjoy later on.
Yeah, you'll see it. Yeah,
it's not going to be much of a stream anyway. It's really going to be more of just we're discussing stuff, about Tears of the Kingdom.
It's going to be great. Become a member.
Good times. Become a member. Thank you for the members of sponsoring this podcast. Drip. Yeah. Tears of the Kingdom is a game. Speaking of which, and it's a game that might be Drip, the best game of this decade, or this year. Excuse me, I almost said decade of this year.
It might be the best game of this decade too.
It might be the game of the decade. But Drip, if you haven't heard. Baldur's Gate 3, which I know almost nothing about, Drip.
Same.
That game has passed Tears of the Kingdom. It has a tied 96 Metacritic score on Metacritic, but where it passes Tears of the Kingdom is with its user score. Last I checked, I believe Tears of the Kingdom was at about an 8.7 user score, and the user score for Baldur's Gate is upwards of 9. It's past 9, so it's got a strong lead right there, and it's not going to be. I don't foresee that Tears of the Kingdom passing Baldur's Gate. I think Baldur's Gate is not going to remain above Metacritic score. But Drip, I guess the first question I want to ask you here is: can Tears of the Kingdom still win the Game of the Year award with Baldur's Gate above it in terms of Metacritic score?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the Metacritic score it's a thing. That's great. It's wonderful, and this game. Again, you and I know jack shit about this game. It could be amazing. I don't know. I'm going to take people's word for it. Clearly, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, they've done a really good job.
It's only on PC at this point, correct?
That's correct. I believe within this current, either this month or next month, it will be on console. I believe PS5, definitely PS5.
So that's a very interesting piece of this for me. So a game that's doing what this game is doing right now, and it's kind of got like I always compare things that do well to this, but it's got a little bit of an Animal Crossing push, Yeah. Pandemic gave Animal Crossing that bump. This is just getting some type of bump, but from what I've seen online, things you've shared with me, because again, I've been gone all week. I didn't even know this was really going on. I heard a little bit about it, but it seems like people are really excited about this game because of what it is and what it has released as. It is a full game that does not need to be online. It's not waiting on DLC. It's not anything. It's just a game. It's just a good game that you can play. You don't have to worry about being online. You don't do anything. You just play the game. You can play multiplayer if you want. If not, no big deal. Don't have to be online at all.
Not dissimilar to Tears of the Kingdom.
Very true. You don't even have the multiplayer aspect in Tears of the Kingdom, so this one's got a little bit on Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll be interested to see what happens when this game is put on console. I feel like it's going to get another little bump especially with what's happening right now. Yeah. I feel like once it's on like PS5 or whatever it's going to come to, that's probably going to get another little bump of people really talking about it. And
I'll tell you this, Rip, it was
more momentum.
It set some records with Steam. Steam is, if you didn't know, Steam is the platform like the main platform PC. You can really get PC games any way you want, really, but Steam is like the main hub for getting your games. It's like the eShop for Nintendo. It's the PC's eShop, and it set some serious records. I believe it's users playing the game at any given time. It's like blasted any other thing out of the water.
I did hear a little bit about that. Yeah, it's just wild.
Yeah,
because like I remember them talking about this game, and I want to say it had to be 2019.
It might have been because here's the thing, Drip. Apparently, this game has been out. You can, and this is the benefit of PC gaming. This game's been available to buy on Steam for the past 3 years.
Okay, but I don't understand. Okay, I don't. You told me that earlier, and I'm not sure about. I don't know about that.
Well, let me explain. Let me explain real fast. I think it's interesting.
Why is it? Okay, here's my question. Why is it just now? Why is it being talked about just now? Is my question.
Because, Drip, the past 3 years the game has been in early development stages. It has not been a full release game on PC. A lot of the times, even sometimes the games come out with a physical copy sometimes on console when they're still in early access. But on PC side of things, it happens all the time. There's a whole page on Steam for early access games. Games that are not fully released but are available for you to buy. The reason you do that is basically to give the developers some money during the time period where they're still developing the game to give them some extra funds to make the game even better. And this is why I think it's interesting, because a game like Tears of the Kingdom, for example, did not do that. It was just they made you wait the full 6 years before you get to play the game. But on PC, if Tears of the Kingdom was a PC game, you would have seen that game 3 years ago, and you would have seen a bunch of game-breaking bugs and little glitches and stuff like that would be over time ironed out. Okay, and that's one of the main things that Baldur's Gate's getting credit for here is they're getting a lot of credit for releasing a game that is finished. That is lacking of serious game breaking bugs and
no glitches, no bullshit.
Yeah. So they deserve a lot of credit for doing that. And in one of the reviews I watched, Tears of the Kingdom also got credit for as being one of those types of games that was released in a proper state. Because these days games come out.
That doesn't
finished.
happen a lot, honestly.
No.
It's. I feel like we get not a lot more, but I mean just as many games that come out broken as we do that are actually presentable and should be released. But yeah, I think it was 2019 at an E3. I think it was like one of the PC presentation thing. I don't know what the hell it was, but they had a trailer. It was like a cinematic trailer for Baldur's Gate 3. I remember that because I was like, "What the hell is this? Like, this is crazy." It did look crazy, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Chances are I'm probably not going to play it, but I might. Who knows? I'm interested now.
Oh, no, there's no way I'm playing it. It's not my kind of game, and I don't remember what kind of game it is, but it's that kind of top-down, like, MMO style kind of game. Or I don't know if it's MMO.
I don't know.
I'm really bad with, like, the abbreviations and for, like, games. Like even what even is Tears of the Kingdom? Is that an RPG? Is that a JRPG? Is that, like...
No, it's not a JRPG.
Like, I'm so bad with that stuff. I don't know what kind of game it is. I couldn't tell you. I just know in my head, like, I can see what kind of game it is. But yeah, it's just not a game I'd play. And it's not because it's a bad game. Just there's certain games you don't play. Like racing games, I think are fun, but I don't really play them.
They're awesome. I was thinking about how I could put a racing setup somewhere down here today, actually. But, okay, so here's the thing. The question you asked was, can this be Game of the Year still? And the answer is absolutely.
Now, how does it do it?
Tears of the Kingdom can be Game of the Year because it's already done what it needs to do. It's already done what it needs to do. It's done everything it needs to do. It's done everything it can do. As you already said, it released in a great state. Game plays the way it's supposed to play. Now, are there a few frame rate issues here and there? Yeah. But are we really worried about it that much with how amazing this game is and was? No, we're not.
Drip, and that is where I will interject because you and I, of course, that's the case. But a lot of people out there, they don't see it that way. They're not. Some people call us Nintendo shills, or some people call us Nintendo fanboys. Which
I think
we've self-proclaimed ourselves fan. At least I have. I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I am. Like but that does not mean I mean,
I'm not out here. When shit's bad, shit's bad. We both call them out. No, exactly. We are not those. I like Nintendo a lot, but listen, if Nintendo needs to be called out on something, I have no problem doing it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I know what you're saying. You're saying there's people out there that, whatever, that don't deal with the Nintendo. But listen, that's the thing with this game. This isn't just a Nintendo people game. This is I'm going to buy a Nintendo to play this game type of game. You know what I mean? This is bigger than that.
The proof's in the pudding.
I look at a lot of this stuff online, and a place I've seen it a lot is TikTok, honestly. People who do the little gaming TikTok stuff, whatever it is they do. A lot of the people who don't really do Nintendo this, that, have even like when it was happening, they were the ones talking about Tears of the Kingdom. They were the ones doing this. I mean, there was all kinds of people talking about this game. This is Breath of the Wild on steroids. This is the game that's going to win Game of the Year if any game can win Game of the Year as far as a Zelda game right now. I mean, this is it. I don't know what else you want from it. I think this game is still, it's my front runner for Game of the Year right now. There's other things on the horizon, but I mean, to be honest, let me give you this. To be honest, as good as a game as this seems to be, and as good of a game as people are saying, with their scores online, that really, there's lots of games that have great scores and great, lots of word of mouth that don't even get nominated for Game of the Year. Like, what if we're having this conversation about Baldur's Gate and it's not even in the conversation? Because right now, I said earlier, there's a few for me. And the two that are out are Final Fantasy, whatever it is, Tears of the Kingdom, and then maybe this, and then Spider-Man 2 comes out later this year.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is probably going to be amazing. I mean, we don't know yet, but I mean, everything they've shown, I mean, and that comes out, what, October?
Yeah,
I believe.
Same time as Mario Wonder, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's your game. I think that's, maybe Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know. But I mean, Final Fantasy.
I did not consider Spider-Man. That
Final Fantasy, Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man. I don't know. Chat, you want to throw some in there?
See, Spider-Man is definitely a game that I think I'm going to
Final
pick up
Fantasy
day
16.
one.
That's what it is. I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, but I know people are enjoying that. I don't know. I don't know.
It's tough for Drip. It's tough for me to really put any game above Tears of the Kingdom, and here's why. Not just because I'm a Nintendo fanboy. It's because it's a game that just fits my desires so perfectly, and there's building. The building aspect that, well, first of all, before that, the fact that it's a lot like Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild. That was a game I was standing on my hill for a long time that was the best game of all time. And it'd be silly for me to say that now with Tears of the Kingdom out, because then Tears of the Kingdom must be best game of all time. And for me, that's the truth for me. That's how I really feel. And there is the problem with this. It's not like you're looking at sports and it's like, who's the best team in the NFL? There are statistics to back this stuff up, and game sales are not the same things as statistics. And there's no real measurement for people's fun factor to really make any real, what is the best game of all time? But even more simply, what's the game of this year? There's no real measurement for that. It's all subjective. And it's just a matter of who's going to vote with their bias the most. And honestly, Tears of the Kingdom has a good chance of being number one this year because there are so many players of that game.
Yeah,
everybody. If they go out and vote for their game, they're gonna win. But if here's the thing, if those players of Tears of the Kingdom, they go, it's gonna win, no doubt. Don't even bother voting for it because they know it's gonna win. It's clearly the best game of all time, let alone the game of the year for them. So they don't vote. But Final Fantasy fans go, we're going to vote for our game. We really
well. That's the thing. You have to remember this too. You're talking about this like the fans get to vote for this. That's not how it goes.
Well, there is
a fan vote, but it counts collectively as
true.
one vote.
I do forget that it's not entirely fan vote.
Yeah, the writers and all these people, these game critics, they're the ones who get the actual votes in all this stuff.
Yeah, but
we get one vote collectively.
I'll make another comparison then. Again, it goes to sports because obviously we're talking about best of, and that doesn't happen a lot in the world. All-star stuff, NBA, MLB, baseball, basketball, football, all-star stuff. A lot of the times, even though the same thing happens there's still a vote from like players, and there's a vote from coaches, and there's a vote from media, and there's a vote from fans. But most of the time, it's a popularity contest, and the fans, and don't forget about this, Drip. Even the media people who get to vote, and like whoever else gets to vote in the Game of the Year stuff.
Oh yeah, it's still
those people. They're still gonna have their personal biases.
Well,
okay,
but
still
the way it works
people.
is, let me tell you how this works. It's not a person. It would be like, let's say, I don't know, whatever this place
is. It like an electoral college system for gaming?
It's like everybody puts their vote in who works at this one place. Okay,
it is like electoral college.
Yeah, everybody. Like, let's say it's, I don't know if Nintendo Life gets a vote, but I can't think of anybody else. Let's just say they get a vote.
Right.
So everybody there would vote, and then who wins their vote, that would be Nintendo Life's vote. That's kind of how it works.
Right. That's a lot like the electoral college in the United States. That's
yeah, and I mean, and I'm sure that's not everywhere, but I know I've heard that that's how it works at a lot of places. So, I mean, and you're right. It's still, you have to remember, it's still people, and what you just said is true. I mean, the people, tell me somebody who's played this game that's like, nah, not for me.
Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
Well, look at the
yeah, they're Breath of the Wild haters though.
Yeah, what was I'm trying to think what the hell was
the Metacritic, the user
score for the Metacritic stuff. Yeah, there are a lot of people in there. That's that 8.7 that Tears of the Kingdom has. It's kind of silly. Because none of those negative, all those negative scores that bring it down to an 8.7, almost none of them are serious. They're all just like, well, I hated Breath of the Wild, so I also hate this one. And it's like, okay, great. That's a really thoughtful vote. Thanks for giving it a 1 out of 10 for that. Those dumb votes, there's so many of those, and they bring them down. So, yeah, I mean, that's annoying to me. It's just annoying to me. It's still a popularity contest when it comes down to it. What game's going to be more popular? Because they're not even in the same ballparks of games. That's what bothers me the most about all of this. You're not comparing apples to apples. You're comparing apples to tomato soup. It's like, well, I don't like tomato soup.
Neither do I.
But it's like, I like apples, but some people are like, I don't like fruit, but I love me a good like pie. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you're not comparing apples to apples here. So it's really difficult to really make these votes. It's very possible that Tears of the Kingdom wins or loses. And that's a very unsatisfactory way to kind of, look at this conversation. But that's kind of, that's what it is. Do I think Tears of the Kingdom has the best chance of all those other games? I do believe so. I think it's the best chance.
It's rough. It's
because of the user base. How many people are playing it?
Okay, but I feel you. But dude, Final Fantasy 16 is also massive right now.
I know. I do know that.
Like, that's big, and we're not in that world.
It's such a staple
so
of the game.
It's hard. Too. Yeah, it's hard for us to like. We understand the Tears of the Kingdom side of this. The Final Fantasy side, we don't, because I don't play it. You don't play it. I don't really know anybody who really is into that game. I don't know anything about it. It's not my thing. Never has been. I know it's different than the old ones. I know they're going away from like the turn-based stuff and getting into more like of an action fighting type of thing. I know some like die-hard Final Fantasy people aren't into that. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, I don't know, is it a bad thing to move away from stuff like that? We just watched Zelda do the same thing, really. And, both of these games we're talking about are probably, game of the year, not Breath of the Wild now, Tears of the Kingdom now, but it's two games, two franchises that have gone away from what they've originally been doing and doing something else. And now these are the games that we're talking about for game of the year.
Yeah.
There's Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 is going to be, dude, I'm telling you, Spider-Man 2 is going to be there for game of the year. It's going to be badass. It's going to be sick. Everything they've shown, I don't know how much you've looked at that, but dude, that is Tears of the Kingdom. Now that it's come and we have it and we're playing it, I am laser focused on Spider-Man 2 now. Like, that's where I'm at.
This is what bothers me the most. The thing that bothers me the most, Trip, is that no matter what anybody is willing to tell you, even if they're positive or negative, the negative people will probably still tell you this, but the positive people won't. The performance of Tears of the Kingdom, the Switch's performance, I should say, affects Tears of the Kingdom in a way that is unfair to Tears of the Kingdom. If it was a fair playing field, and because people are playing Baldur's right now are playing on beastie PCs. People playing Final Fantasy are playing on high-powered consoles or PC. People playing Tears of the Kingdom are playing on an Android tablet, the tech from 2014. It's just not a fair comparison, Drip. It's not given its fair shake, and I wonder if we judged it by the emulated 60 FPS version of Tears of the Kingdom versus Final Fantasy or Baldur's. I feel like those people who were like Baldur's and all the other games on top, if they got to see that version and the Switch version never existed, I feel like it's a way more even playing field.
I don't know. See, I don't.
That's how I feel about it. It's not based on no fact whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's just how I
don't agree with that. I think people understand. I think especially the people voting on this stuff, like not the fans, the actual people reviewing these games that vote on this stuff. I feel like they understand, like the Switch is what it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. I mean, I don't know. You're right. I mean, as far as like visuals, yeah. I mean, there's really no, I mean, you know, what are you going to do? Especially, honestly, I don't know. I saw Baldur's Gate, like, it looks fine. It looks great. Like,
no, it looks really good.
I don't see anything that's like, oh, like the character models still have that weird, like, I don't know, that weird look to me. I don't know how to explain what that is. They look like characters from like Bethesda games. They look weird. I don't know what it is about them. They just look very, very stiff. I don't know. It's a little bit better than that, but I don't know. Yeah, it's in 4K. It's running at, you know, you can probably make it run at 120 frames per second wherever you want to do. You know, Tears of the Kingdom's at 30, but I mean, it's on hardware that only does what it can do. Like if you're gonna base it solely off of like, oh, this only runs 30 frames per second, well then, I mean, Tears of the Kingdom won't even be nominated. Because I mean, it would definitely be, let's say it's those four. It's the only one.
Yeah,
the only one. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that matters as much. I think it's more of the substance of the game, and I feel like Tears of the Kingdom has what it needs to be Game of the Year for sure. I don't see it.
It couldn't have done any more. It really couldn't have.
That's it. It couldn't have done it. It's done. It has done its homework. It aced the test, took the test home. Tears of the Kingdom's mother hung it on the refrigerator. It's still there with a really cool magnet from Myrtle Beach, holding it up there. Everybody looks at it when they come in the kitchen, and they give Tears of the Kingdom a pat on the head, and they say, "You did a fucking fantastic job." That's all you can do.
I mean, guess some people in our chat, like Switch Corner, don't have any like fandoms of anything in their life. They just completely go through life without any fans of anything. But Alex, let me explain to you like this. You see that on my shelf here? I'm a Zelda fan, all right? I'm a big Zelda fan. I got a lot of Zelda stuff, okay? I have a fandom too. I'm not making excuses for why Tears of the Kingdom needs to be number one. I am a fan. I've acknowledged this. I'm a fan of the game and I want it to win. But like my Eagles in the past Super Bowl this year, they lost by a field goal, okay? They almost got there. And do I make excuses why they lost? Not really. I'm not making any of these excuses. What I'm saying is the Eagles and Zelda are the same thing here. They did everything they could to get where they were at, and they put a hell of a performance out there. And they might just go ahead and lose by the skin of their teeth when it's all said and done. But does that mean that the game isn't quality or anything like that? Because now we're going to start getting to the season of bashing, and people are going to start bashing Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasy, and Tears of the Kingdom. And we're not there yet.
And
we're too far out.
And
Spider-Man. We're not there yet,
well.
but we will be at that season where people start bashing stuff. And that's where I get annoyed. I'm like, there's no reason to bash any of these games. Baldur's Gate is to me is a garbage game. Not because it's a bad game, because I won't
it's just
play
not your
it.
thing.
It's not my thing.
It's not for you. Okay, so listen. Here's the thing. Tears of the Kingdom will be nominated. It will be in the running for Game of the Year. It will 100% be there. Breath of the Wild was there. This game is better than Breath of the Wild. I think we can agree on that, can we not?
Yeah.
It's going to be nominated for Game of the Year. This game had so much hype coming up to it. It delivered on all that hype. It's gonna be. If it's not game of the year, I don't think Final Fantasy 16 is gonna be it. It might be. I don't know. I honestly think it's probably gonna come down. I mean, I think Spider-Man's going to come out at the perfect time. Here's what I think. I think Spider-Man 2 is going to come out at the perfect time, and it's going to have the hype. It's going to have the hype at the right time when everybody has just played it to do their reviews on it. They're really fresh on what that game was, and it's going to be really, really, really good, and that will probably end up winning Game of the Year. That's probably what's going to happen. Even if it may not quite deserve it, it's probably going to be good, probably going to be amazing. No pun intended. It's Amazing Spider-Man. That's good, right? Oh yeah.
No.
Did you get that? Did you?
I played the Oh No Mario because
That's fine. I haven't been doing it a lot tonight. Sorry. That's what I think's going to happen. That is another one too. Jedi Survivor, too many issues. It's a thing. It's a thing that could happen. Street Fighter 6, not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I don't think a fighting game's gonna win the Game of the Year.
Yeah, but there's that's why
reach.
this conversation is impossible to have, because there are people out there who only play fighting games and are passionate because they've been playing fighting games.
That's
since
why there's a category
the 80s.
for it. That's why there's a category for it. Well, you know what? There's another one I totally forgot about too. I'm looking at the chat here. Switch Corner said Dead Space Remake, which was a good one, but you know what I'm totally forgetting about, which I don't know if it's even going to be nominated for Game of the Year, but Starfield. Starfield is yet to be released. Supposed to be a huge Xbox game, Bethesda game. It's basically Fallout in space. That I don't know. I mean, that could go either way. So that's one too. I mean, I don't know. We have a lot of year left. That's why I actually I asked Geeb earlier today when he brought this up as a topic for tonight. I actually asked him, I was like, are we talking about this too early? Is this even like a conversation right now? Because there are so many games to still come out. So, I mean, there's, we could, I mean, who knows? We could see Starfield come out and be great. We could see Spider-Man come out. I mean, who knows? Baldur's Gate 3 might not even be up for Game of the Year. Hell, I mean, no, that's not true. Tears of the Kingdom will be there. It's 100% going to be there. But I mean, there are other games that could come out that could knock this off. We have this hype going on for this game right now, and I mean, it's reviewing great. And when people come up and they see, if it's nominated, people see it, they're going to remember. But I mean, again, I'm going back to Spider-Man coming out at just that perfect time. It's going to be that last one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be that one to sneak in, one on everybody's mind. I mean, in my opinion, I feel like it's going to be good enough that it just has its hype at the right time and it ends up winning Game of the Year.
Yeah, it's going to come down to probably the timing. I think you're kind of right on. You're spot on with the Spider-Man winning it this year. I bet you a lot that's
as long as it's good.
As long as it's good. As long as it's good. Yeah, of course.
Which I don't think it's going to be bad.
We're assuming it's good.
Well, let's look back. The first Spider-Man, fantastic. Miles Morales, fantastic. I mean, This goes right along. I mean, unless there are major issues and really messed up things with this game, which I don't think there's going to be. Insomniac's the one who makes this game, right? Yeah, I think so. I mean, they have the PlayStation on their back right now, basically. They've done what? All the Spider-Man games, Ratchet and Clank. That was a great one. I don't know what else they've done, but I mean, my God, they've got so many games out for the PlayStation 5 for first party stuff. I mean, they don't put out bad stuff, and I don't see this being bad. So I mean, that's where I'm at on it, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting.
We will have to wait and see, and I'd like to bring this quote up here as we wrap this episode up. Got a quote from this person in chat who has a weird name with a lot of letters and numbers, so I'm not going to go ahead and read them all. But KX says, no matter what, we have an insanely stacked year full of great games. I think that's a perfect way to kind of look at all of this. If the gaming industry is a restaurant, we just walked into a 5-star, beautifully done restaurant of
We
games.
got a lot of great stuff this year, for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
stuff
just
to come.
nothing to
still,
complain about.
Amazing, yeah.
Maybe you're not going to order the creme brulee, but you're going to go ahead and order the tiramisu, or you're going to order the cake. You know what I mean? Like, there's something for everybody.
Great stuff.
There's great stuff everywhere. You know, my biggest fandom, if it wins, I'll be really happy. If it doesn't, I think it's going to kind of crush me for a little bit, but I'm going to understand why, because
I'm going to tell you this,
there's so many good games out there.
I'm not going to give a flying fuck either way. Not going to care.
The way Tears of the Kingdom made me felt makes me feel like nothing in life rivals it except for like my fiance. I'll just say that. I love it that much. Like my family.
It's great. It's
like
wonderful.
love of my family and my fiance is not in this conversation. Other than that, nothing makes me feel the way that Tears of the Kingdom does. It just there's something about it, man. It's so special.
Dude, it's amazing. It's great. It's fantastic. If it doesn't win Game of the Year, I don't know. It won't faze me. I'll be fine with it. I think it's got a great chance to, but again, I think we're gonna see Spider-Man 2 at that height. It's just gonna take it, probably.
And also, the one little final, I'm gonna try to find it here real fast. If I can find this comment, I'd be very happy to throw it up on screen one more time. Where is it at? I can't find it here, but I know our buddy Coffees with Games earlier in the podcast, Drip and I both caught it separately. When all said and done, we already know that 1-2 Switch is going to be
I put that on the screen. Yeah,
yeah, me too. Yeah, we already know 1-2 Switch is going to be game. There's no point even going on this further. Drip, we're going to talk to the people in the after show. Stick around if you're in the stream. We'll hang out, talk to you guys a little bit. If you're listening to this podcast on the audio platforms, we will see you guys next week.